All right, so today's video is my third in my series of my favorite pedals and how I'm basically using them. And today's pedal is from a company called Disruptive Music Tech. This is the Enhancifier. So today's video, I'm doing the same thing I've been doing for the last few videos. I'm using my Fender Princeton 68 reissue that I've converted to a head, running it into a Friedman 112 with a creamback, mic'd up with an SM57 into my 88M Neves preamp. And that's what you're hearing. What we have here is the Enhancifier pedal, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you, and it's basically a very, very boutique clean boost. And so a couple things to know about this pedal. First, obviously they're handmade here in the United States. It's made by a very small company, and there's a couple things to note. It runs on 18 volts, so you need an 18 volt power supply, or there are two terminals inside that you can run two 9-volt batteries. It will run on 12 volts according to their paperwork, and I made some notes on that, and I'll go over the notes, but I've been running it at 18 volts. If you think it looks like a record player, that's probably intentional. It's got a very old school vibe. I think that's what they're going for, is that hi-fi audio kind of vibe. And it's basically mimicking the Teletronics LA2 and the United Audio 1176. I know nothing about either one of these things. Here's what I did. I went on Reverb, I looked it up. The Teletronics are running for about anywhere between $11,000 and $20,000. So I get it. I get what they're doing. This pedal is very expensive. It's at $399, so $400 pedal, but it's one of those things that if you like it, you like it, and if you don't, you don't. And if you think you can find something that sounds as good for less money, well then do that. But in this series, I'm just showing you the pedals that I've either owned for a long period of time or the pedals I've recently found in this case, this was in the last year, that I'm just absolutely loving and using. So first, let's give you a sample of the sounds. Here is the Princeton. And let me just show you what I love. Now, if you run the volume at 2, essentially you're not quite at unity gain, you're just right above it. So I'm gonna show you unity gain real fast. Okay, so that's cool. If you don't know what unity gain means, that means when you turn the pedal on or off, you're not seeing a jump in the volume. So let me go ahead. Yeah, so it's working. So let's go ahead, and these controls are very different than normal controls, but I'm gonna give you just the basics. I like to think of them as volume, bass, treble, and gain, although that's not very fair to this company because these knobs are doing a lot more, but I will cover them. So let's start with a lick. Now see, this lick in the room sounds pretty thin. It doesn't. But if we go ahead and turn this on, now I played it a little bit differently, and that's because all of a sudden I kind of feel a sustain coming in. But if I drive this to like 3, just 3, it's not really raising the volume as so much as it just. I mean, it just sounds great. And again, it's not adding bass. It is boosting because, like I said, it's a clean boost. Now, like I said, I don't know if I don't have covered this. The level goes to 10. They recommend that they said, look, we give you way more headroom than you need. You don't want to go to 10. I agree. Well, look what happens when you go to 7. I mean, obviously it's boosting, but it's really driving that amp. So very cool. I'd say between 5 and 3 is where I leave that. Okay. Now on the Sizzle full control, they said 5 is again kind of like a not really doing a whole lot kind of centered thing. So let's grab my notes, my cheat sheet, because I need them. It says turning, where is it at? Turning the knob counterclockwise, in other words, left of center of the 5. The signal with, basically it's a treble booster. Okay, so if we take it to 1, we're going to get more of a UK-based treble boost. Especially if we juice this. Man, this Fender now sounds like a Vox. Now again, this isn't a distortion pedal, it's a boost pedal, but of course it's really focused on enhancing certain frequencies. It says if you turn the knob clockwise from 5, it engages the full frequency response. You know, the treble boost bites a little better. Let's go back to 5. Okay, now I'm... Okay, I swore I loved 5 more. But now I'm kind of digging 10. So maybe there's a compromise at 8. Yeah. All right, let's do the HF rich control. So when you're in center, if you turn this counterclockwise, which is to the left, you're gonna get an upper mid boost. When you turn it clockwise, you get a full range response. Yeah, I love that way better. And then to be honest, go back this way. Yeah, I still like it this way. I really don't want it boosted, just a little bit, right there. This is the tight LF control. When you run the tight LF control, what happens is, if you go counterclockwise, and it's left of center, it tightens up the low end. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of not compressed, but it's, yeah, I can feel that, which is probably why I had it just a little bit in that range. Now, if we go back to center, what happens if we go clockwise? We go clockwise, you get more bass. Which is funny. Okay, I want to go to the... You know what's funny is, I understand they got to say more bass, and I understand focus, tighter, all these things, but really what it is, every turn is so subtle, but what it does is, instead of giving you too much or too little something, it's just kind of finding you a little bit more focused sweet spot. Again, it kind of, maybe I do like it more. Or where did I have it before? It's a really, really cool piece of gear. I don't even want to call it a pedal. In fact, so you guys know, how I run mine, I don't put it on my pedal board. What I do is I have the 2 9-volts in it, and I sit it on top of my amplifier, and if I end up having to play and I just need a little bit something more. What I love is, if you notice, I'm playing the Strat. This is my 60s reissue Fender Strat. The single coils in this sound great, but sometimes they just lack a little bit. And man, this thing just put it back in really great. Okay, off. That's great. So let's do one last thing for fun. I'm gonna go ahead and take the sizzle to full 10. I don't know why. And I'm gonna take this to 7, like I said. What I've done now is I've hooked up my Pedal Pal 800 pedal into my Princeton again. It sounds great. Let's turn this on and see what happens. Wow. Okay, so now what I do is let's crank this thing. Go to 7, tighten that up a little bit. Great. Without it? All right, so there you go. There's the Enhancifier pedal, and I hope that was a fun video for you guys. I will put a link to their website down below. It's not an affiliate link, but at least it'll get you there, and so you can check out their pedals if you're interested. And as always, I want to thank you guys so much for your time. To the next time, know your gear.